Yes, hello. We survived this year.
And, I would like to start by thanking the ever loving shit out of Greta Thunberg for just making everything perfect right there at the end of the year.
Okay, so I only know part about this, and I had okay, and it's just please remind me who Andrew Tate is as well, because
He's one of
like
the
I
red pill pieces of shit. I don't know if Kevin Logan ever covered him in his Manosphere thing, but he
no,
would
I
have
don't remember.
eventually. If he continued that, I don't know if Kevin continued that.
I
But
don't think it continued that.
holy shit, he was just
No,
one of
oh,
those
okay, to
vile,
be fair,
one of those vile
to be fair to
misogynists.
oh, okay, so it's a good thing I don't know about Andrew Tate's work. It's
Hmm.
kind of like one of
Oh,
those things.
yeah, he's this guy looks he's oh my God. Have you seen a picture of him? He looks so fucking goofy and
No,
stupid.
no, no, no. I see people have like show pictures of it and compare it to him to Dave Sorini, and considering his politics, though, he's not too far off on Dave Sorini on politics too.
Except
Dave
that I don't
Sorini.
know that Davis Orini ever fled to Romania and then got arrested for human trafficking.
Mm.
Okay, then Dave Sorini is still a terrible piece of
Oh
person,
yes, he
though.
absolutely
But
is. But,
oh,
so
so okay. So please tell me, enlighten us, what happened.
um, basically, he decided to do a brag at Greta Thunberg, saying, "I have 20 muscle cars. Would you like to take a ride in some of them?" And she said something along the lines of, "Oh yes, please tell me all about it. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com." And then he replied with something else, and one of his fans said, "Just you two need to just fucking get over with." And Tate said she's not ready, despite the fact that she's underage. This is really creepy and gross. Um,
Mhm.
and then he did a live stream, big old reply to her, in which he bragged that he wasn't going to recycle his pizza boxes. And the Romanian police said, "Hey, look at that. We know where you live now." And then they arrested him for human trafficking based on the pizza boxes. So he repeatedly got humiliated by a teenager and then got arrested for it.
Oh, and the agency that actually prosecutes trafficking, its acronym is actually Greta.
No shit, you're lying. That can't be true.
No. It's actually real. Look it up. Look it up. I've been listening to it from I think Vosh did a video of it, and then Dusty did a video of it. No, the agency that deals with that is its acronym. The letters is Greta.
Okay, there is an agency, but it's not the one that arrested him.
Yeah.
Group of experts on action against trafficking in human beings, which does not really add up to Greta. But yeah, there is a it's a human rights group. It is called Greta.
Oh,
They're not the ones that arrested him, but they did urge action by the Romanian authorities.
definitely a triumph for it's a victory for people on the spectrum for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, at least there's that. So that's one way to like end out the year. Oh boy, it's just like I've been so far out of it as with all these sort of things too. And to be fair to Kevin Logan, he doesn't do the Manosphere anymore. He doesn't do YouTube videos anymore. I don't know if he still does. If he does something on YouTube, it will usually be like streams, maybe like highlights of his streams from like his Twitch streams as well, because he does a lot of the Twitch streams almost daily on. So if he probably did cover like this Andrew Tate thing, as he covers anything that's happens in the news at the given time, because yeah, he's like one of those like left Twitchers as it were, just like it gets like stuff from like his audience to react to something like that. But like Kevin Logan's a friend, so I'm not gonna hold him too much for doing like kind of the left Twitch thing. And Kevin Logan was always just like good at like commenting on things, and so like never stopping and pausing on thing. Yes, cat. Okay, Sasha, stay there, be cute. And hello, Joe, and hello, Metro. And before we continue on any further and get distracted by cat, let's thank our patrons. It's a new year, so thank
New
you
year
to
and a new patron, I noticed.
Ooh, so we got a new patron. So I will thank the patrons I do know of. We got thank Joe, thank Flora, thank the fuckboys, so me and Mehmet, thank Edie, Marty. and Tim, and Stat Noise, and Von Rack. And yeah,
The new
I
one
think
is
that's it.
Aaron.
And thank you, Aaron, as well. Thank you all for like giving us money. We did a couple of bills around here, like I paid for the Zoom call thing, so it's like that. And hello, Phoenix. But the rest of the money that we don't use, we honestly just give whoever's in need, like Phoenix in the chat right now, who just had their first edible. Said it's located over my
Oh, okay.
high.
Wait, we're talking about edibles. I can offer some insight on that.
Yeah, yeah, because like Phoenix had mentioned in the group chat that like they got high for the first time last night as well, and just like I remember my first time getting high, but I never got an edible. So Isaiah, what about these edibles?
Well, okay, so I actually take THC. I take
Hmm.
there's like THC Skittles that you can take.
Nice.
So I do because I don't want to
Whereas a
get
lot of our
too.
audience take titty skittles.
Yes,
They take what? Titty
Titty
Skittles?
skittles.
titty scuttles.
Estrogen.
Oh, okay.
Yes, HRT, feminines.
Okay, all right. So, it's not too much to where you can't really function, but what I do is I listen to a lot of 60s music. Actually, I'm
Mhm.
gonna put a song, well, I'm gonna put something in the chat. So
Yes.
I could not stop playing this being stoned. I don't know why I wanted to. I wanted to play something else, but then I just come back to this. I don't know. So 60s music is always good to listen to when you're stoned or watching like Star Trek or something or 2001: Space Odyssey. So
I
that's
I put the link that like Isaiah put in like our group chat into the live chat right now.
especially a lot of like British, like the British invasion, the Brit invasion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is which was so heavily criticized at that time as being like immoral and terrible, like being the degradation, the cause for the degradation of like all mankind, all because it was, and I'm sure the British invasion will like artists will admit to this as well. It's like it was black people's music that they were playing and promoting and like doing,
But
and
this song is very doo-woppy, so
mm, yeah. So okay. So that's good to know that there is you can vary your how much high you want to get with the various different like edibles you can get. So you like can go just a little bit high, just like a little bit like high to relax to. That's good to know
I'm still
because
And
I
if you
took
get high
the
enough, you can whoop Batman's ass.
yes. Yeah. So how's everyone been? Holidays to me,
I've been sleeping so
it's just
much.
I got a car.
that's
Yes, I saw
yes.
that.
You got a car.
I mean,
Congratulations,
it's
you
bad
now
that you
have
have to have a
transportation.
car, but it's good that you have one when you need one.
Yeah, I know it's bad, but
Well, it's also bad for you because the expenses of owning a car. That's always
yeah.
been like the thing stopping me from like getting a car myself.
Thank God I bought all my model shit and toys and all that shit before I got one.
Hmm. Yeah, so yes. And for me, the holidays themselves, I do nothing on the holidays. I just don't make a big thing about it. Don't make a pageantry about it. It's just there, and it's just another day for me. So then I just honestly just like play video games all day. Yeah, I never received my gifts, and I told my family to like don't give me anything, but like some of them would not like my stepmom. She didn't receive the email because she's not tech savvy like that. So, and I don't know if she like saw the email or not when my dad showed her the email, but like I knew that she was just going to like get me a gift anyway, and what she got me another winter jacket. I already have a winter jacket. I have several winter jackets. She gave me several winter jackets in the past. I don't need another one. But as my dad says, like, well, now you have another one in case you need to like wash the one of those ones. I don't want my winter jackets. Maybe I should,
I have like
but like
I have like two winter jackets and I have a really thick one because it did get really, really cold down here.
that's well, the climate change will like eventually make
Mm.
it so that like everywhere can get really cold at any given time. Uh,
Yeah, last week the Yankees winter got drunk and passed out on our lawn. They had to come pick it up.
mm,
So but yeah, I don't. So yeah, I don't really get a lot of these like men's rights people because because as a man, and I would arguably say as a black man, it's because there's that part too.
Mhm.
I don't really feel the need to like I don't feel disconnected the way I think some of these desperate men who gravitate to Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate. Like I don't like I don't feel that way. Maybe it's because I keep busy doing a lot of stuff. Maybe I have hobbies. Maybe because I just find ways to enjoy myself being alone. I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't. Um, are these men really that desperate?
Yes.
Because
Is
it's not that bad if you don't find a girlfriend. It's not the end of the world.
they feel like they are owed it as some
And they
way.
feel that it's an attack on them personally, that it makes them lesser. It's a
Yes.
trophy that they need to win.
Okay.
Hmm.
The
I know
girlfriend's not a
Jesse.
person; it's a trophy.
I know Jesse Gender said something about that in one of her streams I listened to. She said that in the world of capitalism, like sexuality is more of a prize of an enterprise.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes in like pulpy like stories, as were the guy gets the girl at the end, rescuing the damsel in distress. I mean, this is one of the things that like Anita Sarkeesian pointing out in like Tropes versus Women series, as were.
Hmm.
But because like she was a woman, that's like, and again, it was like basic 101 gender studies sort of thing, so it wasn't anything new. But like how she was going about like giving it very academically on YouTube to like a largely male audience that saw that, as it were, and felt like personally attacked by it too. And is that sort of thing where it's just they never work. They never. It's one of those things where just like when like a black people bring up the difficulties with race in this like society, or like trans people like talk about how it's difficult to be trans in this society. It's kind of the things where it's like the privileged people feel awkward because then they have to like answer the question, am I a bad person? Which is
Yes.
like, and sometimes they even like flat out like in a stream, a friends on my stream, I mentioned about the diversity tool by Blizzard Activision, and to my friend the streamer was in agreement with me. He's like, yeah, that was a terrible thing, as it were. To which a viewer and like someone we actually kind of know in the network we're a part of, kind of like said, okay, so is it my fault that I'm born like white cis and male? It's just like, no, it's not your fault that you're how you're born, because you can't control how you're born. But you being white cis and male, you benefit from the society of white supremacy, cis-hetero patriarchy, and ableism, capitalism, colonialism as well, imperialism, and thus like it's like life on easy mode for you, especially since like and you can easily do this experiment with a large enough group of people, like an entire high school or entire class of high schools, where if you have the people walk forward that like from like that like you have like two parents, as it were, always, or like it go on and forth, oh, Wesley being good boy,
Hmm.
but has the cone of shame still. Is this
Again,
is
always.
again, always. It's the same injury, and he's just like can't stop like
It's
looking
just
at
he
it.
just he has allergies, and he's always itching and gnawing on
Although
himself.
to be fair, based
And I
on
want to
how I
stress that it's not just under capitalism that women are and sexuality become prizes and objects. Like you go back to Arthurian romances, get
Hmm.
the staple of the Arthurian romance. The knight at the center of the story has three things: his horse, his sword, and his woman.
Yes.
And the
yeah,
woman
I
is
mean
invariably the prize for his quest. So I mean,
Hmm.
considering how weird and unique I am, I don't know if I'll ever find someone, but that's okay. I
Yeah, same here.
just shared a '60s song. What girl would? Yeah.
Okay, Isaiah, you'd be surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised when people have said that I'm hot, or I'm attractive, or I'm good looking. So, there's always that. It's kind of like maybe this is the thing. There's always someone out there for you, but for me, I just never seek it out. I honestly have only been on a couple of dates and I never had a serious relationship. I just never focused on the time to like seek it out. A friend of mine kind of like shared their experience and how they finally got diagnosed for like adult ADHD. Which type I don't know if it's like the just attention deficit type or the hyperactive type, or both. I don't know, and it could be one or the other or both. But like when she finally got the medication to treat her ADHD and her executive dysfunction, it was like 9 days. She finally started dating as were, and now so hearing her story, I'm kind of thinking, wait a minute, is there something about like my executive dysfunction as well that's like preventing me from dating too? So, but as frequently as so many people have said that I have to be ADHD of some kind or attention sensitive of some kind or on the spectrum of some kind because like no way am I neurotypical. I did have to remember that like I was never neurally typical anyway, being dyslexic. So
Right. Well, it's just maybe I'll find someone one day, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I don't need to spend
Well,
money on
it's not
someone.
unusual to be loved by anyone.
this, oh man, I was trying to remember the rest of the lyrics because I do love Tom Jones's stuff. Uh,
What
It's
is
not
it?
unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see
It's
you
not
hanging around with anyone,
unusual.
it's not unusual to see me cry.
Oh, it doesn't go like it's not unusual to see you. You mean that song?
Hmm.
yes, not unusual by Tom Jones. Yeah, Tom Jones still a great artist, and that's still a good song too.
Well,
Uh,
well, I mean, Vic Fontaine from DS9 sounds a lot like that. So,
Kind of, yeah. Lounge singer kind of style of singing. Yeah, I can see that.
Hmm.
Uh, what was another thought that I had in my mind that I had? So it was one to share. Damn it.
I mean, I think one day I'll find. I do believe one day I'll find someone, but I'm not really in a rush at the moment. I'm
But
trying. I'm trying to get a better job, better paying job, career. Trying to get out of this apartment.
mm,
Not in a rush right now.
I guess for me, it's just like I always try to like. I always think. I guess for me, it's like easier for me to think of reasons why I'm not dating or not doing anything. I find reasons to not do something to not do something. That's a word. Because yeah, I said the same thing. Honestly, I was like thinking of actually pursuing a career in like acting as it were, but like I always think of some reasons. Like I set myself a goal of like I'm going to save up $20,000 and then I'll move to like LA as it were. But I was always just afraid of leaving my comfort zone of like the place I've like grew up in, of the family I'm live with and I'm surrounded with, and I still live with on in some regards too, even though I'm now 38. And so I never like it's kind of like almost failure to launch too. Well, in a way, it was almost failure to launch because like I still live at the house that I grew up in since I was 10 years old until my dad sold the house. But to be fair, also my oldest brother and my younger brother did live there too as well. To be fair to my oldest brother, he did went to college and went to the Arts Institute, but like accrued a lot of credit college debt and student loans debt, and then had to start paying it off at that time. He did, so he had to take any job he can get, and it's cheaper to live at home with like I don't know what the rent arrangement was with my oldest brother and my father. I know that for me and my father, it was $300 a month, and yeah, it's just much cheaper to live at home at $300 a month, if that, than to like live anywhere else. So that's why I never went anywhere. It was like even when I started paying like some of the bills of the house other than the mortgage, I I was still living there. It's just like yeah. Uh, I don't know where I was going with that, but like I don't know. Life is weird.
Yeah.
To respond to you more
Um.
seriously, 255, white supremacists and fascists are always willing to accept minorities in their ranks until they aren't.
Yeah.
So they're happy to accept a black friend until they have the power they need where they can put that black friend against the wall and shoot them. They had Milo Yiannopoulos and they hate queer people, right? I mean,
Yes.
what's his name? Richard Spencer, the dapper Nazi, had an Asian girlfriend
Mhm.
for a while because they love this stereotype of the submissive Asian female. I mean,
Yes.
even the actual Nazis, they had Rum, I think it was. Am I
Mhm.
getting that right?
He was a gay man, right?
Yes, the head of the brown shirts, the head of the SA, and then the Knight of the
Hmm.
Long Knives come along and they get rid of him. And then
Mm-hmm.
they replaced the brown shirts with the black shirts, the SA with the SS. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just how they do. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of what's his name, Milo, when it turned out that he was okay with white boys being molested.
Yes.
And now that Andrew Tate has been arrested for human trafficking, they'll wait for him to get hanged in a cell like Jeffrey Epstein.
Would you guys say that I've survived this like crisis that a lot of men seem to be going through?
That like a crisis of like not being feeling like no one's going to love you and no woman's going to like date you, and also but also not dwelling
And
on
also
this
how the,
idea.
the women and the Jews are destroying masculinity so that they can turn society gay by turning the frogs gay, that sort of stuff.
Like, there's really conspiracy theorists that think that.
Pretty much.
Believe it or not, they do.
That's what the
Well,
feminazi thing is all about. It's all about destroying
I
traditional
never.
society,
Well,
traditional
again,
gender
I,
roles,
I
and the
never
Jews are
I
behind
never got
everything.
into that, so I don't believe any of that shit. So
so yeah, you're
Yeah, you
probably
pretty much
over
just sidestepped all of that.
Yes, exactly, which is a good thing, honestly, because like, yeah, no, so that's why these men's rights efforts are always on about like feminists and like, oh, it's like hate this sort of thing. Because also another part of that is that like when you're so comfortable and so used to privilege, any sort of like equity or inequality or trying to like social justice as it were feels like oppression because you think and this is something my younger brother definitely does think he's for sure he expressly expressed this and like said this as it were that gender it's an equal playing field already and many white supremacists and many other like people believe this as well. Many conservatives in America believe this as well. That like it's a level playing field already.
Mm-hmm.
So any sort of like affirmative action, for example, it's just like giving a leg up or getting a handout to like the black people as
I
well
mean,
or
they
the
hold so
minorities.
many contradictory beliefs in their head at the same time. They feel that they are owed these things, that they deserve these things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a white girl doesn't get into Texas A&M like she wanted to, and she talks about how she was deprived of her spot at the school because of affirmative action. No, it wasn't your spot. It was the school spot, and they gave it to a student they wanted to accept in. Things,
Yeah.
shit like that. They also, simultaneously believing that everything is equal, they are convinced that minorities will do to them what they've always done to minorities.
Yes, exactly. That's always been like the fear of them, which is along with the fear of like if Muslims accepted in regular society and trans people are accepted in regular society, what does that make me? That makes you you, and it's okay. No, we're not saying that like cis has white men should not be at the table at all. They just should
I'm
not
saying
be
that.
like they should just not be like the most prominent voice at the table. That's what we're saying. Hey, kind of like what we talked with like a Joey the Indigenous Heretic, as it were, of like giving the talking stick to like whoever, as it were, and they like feel like one kind of group that we kind of like overlook a lot, for many reasons. Sometimes I think I do agree. Oftentimes, to detriment of those people as well is children, the young, because like they're not legally adults yet and can't make decisions for themselves. They need a guardian or a parent in like many cases. So that's why they are talked over as it were. And there's still also like the terrible like idea of like children should be seen but not heard that many people still promote, and definitely many conservative people still like promote.
yeah, well
Well,
that's the
conservative
whole.
people think of children as property.
True. Yeah.
Well, sorry,
Well,
not
that
conservatives, fascists.
Yes.
okay. Well, that's why I was like talking about the whole shit with the drag show shit because
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't because like I've actually I argued with a conservative yesterday about this and I was like
Mhm.
saying where's your evidence that children are being like are being groomed in these events? I don't get it. I don't get
Hey,
it.
hey, so Alexandra, how
There
we
is no
doing? Hey, let's
evidence.
see.
They just think they're deviant and therefore they're dangerous, and they're dangerous in all ways. That's it.
There's just a lot of shit I don't get about a lot of this shit, man.
There's no logical consistency or reason or rationality behind it. There's no Don't look for anything like that. Just realize it's all emotional drives based on it feels icky, therefore they're evil.
Yeah.
As they often said, facts don't care about your feelings. It is all about their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just weird. There's a lot of this shit that's just weird to me. Like I never thought about like when I was like lonely and depressed, like I never thought about giving like money, giving my hard earned money that I don't have a lot of to somebody like Andrew Tate. I just don't like.
Well, I can see how you don't do that, but like honestly, I talked to like someone that actually did study this for like his college papers were like Twitch as it were, but like no, in his research on like Twitch and like that kind of like community as were no, the biggest reason, the biggest factor for people to giving money to streamers in terms of sort of subs or even straight donations is because of like, and he does recognize this. This is a document of capitalism too, because he's like towards like closer to our political spectrum on the left as well. That like is because they're lonely and they want to fill in that loneliness by giving a big time streamer that they admire, whether it's like Andrew Tate, or it could be like a Pokemon, or it could be like a Fortnite streamer like Ninja or Zemi, or like
What about
PK.
Sniper Wolf?
Or that person, whoever their favorite streamer are, they want to get the recognition for gifting the gift sub or subbing to their favorite streamer as were. So that's why they're buying subs or buying bits, or they want to feel a part of a community to feel that loneliness. And Twitch is providing that product in terms of like the streamers' interaction. So, yeah,
Parasocial relationships.
yes, exactly.
I rather just not. I rather just see what I do when I'm depressed is I work on my art.
Hmm.
So I find ways to be productive, but or I could just take some gummies and just listen to like some like a Beatles song and just listen to that on repeat for a couple hours.
Okay, you're really
Hmm.
destroying the brand. You should be listening to Avril Lavigne when you're on gummies.
No, this is 60s music.
Okay, so yeah, so to those who don't know, like so Alexandra, who's like a first time like a viewer, but I know them from Twitch, for example. Her for Twitch. I'm sorry, wrong pronouns. Yeah, she, hers, her pronouns. As is that like yeah, is a joke on like social justice at me that like our friend here Isaiah Taylor, black kid with autism, he's actually 29. He's yes, he
30. 30.
30. Yes, he looks that he is that old, but looks that young. Black don't crack, as he said. But he is actually a '90s white girl in disguise, as well. I love the '90s stuff, as you can see with the Clues poster in the background, but also is a white girl because of his taste in music, like Avril Lavigne. It's an ongoing joke on social justice alchemy, but like it's all good fun.
Funny. I'm fine with it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's all like gift subs to like their love streamers. No, it's me senpai. It is that kind of like thing that they do to like try to like for like the gift subs. Me, I do give to gift subs and to contribute to high training and like to donate bits as or like sub to those people. But it's mostly just to support like the streamers who were because just let's just face it, and like many people I know do agree with this. It's like those who I do have friends that like do stream almost full time, or it's like stream is their main source of income, but that's because they're disabled and on like SSI or something like that. So
How,
they have
how much money do those people make? Because I was just looking at that Sniper Wolf chick, and she has like a mansion. So I don't.
okay. Well, so oh, okay. I can like share this from like the Fortnite content creator Evolve J. He does stream on Twitch. He has 8,000.6 like followers on Twitch, and like he's trying to actually push for a partner, but just doing his normal thing, just like streaming Fortnite for like 4 hours or 5 hours a day, and for 6 days a week, not 7 days a week. But he's get like regularly about 75 viewers. But he also has like about 56,000 like subscribers on YouTube as well. And definitely just from ad revenue or just from revenue from Twitch, which is like either gift subs, bits, or ad revenue, and compared to ad revenue he gets on YouTube, he gets 2 to 3 times more money from YouTube than he does from Twitch. He just it's the least money he gets. He doesn't express any figures as well, and that's fine with him. He does give an example, and people can go to his like YouTube channel Evolve Jake to like see the numbers. But he can tells me that like for a normal YouTube video, he gets like $3 in ad revenue for each 1,000 views, and his videos run between like 10 to 15 minutes and sometimes 20 minutes long. So that's about it. So the 1,000 views on a 15-minute video gets you $3 in ads. But he does post like a video almost every day too, so he works really hard at that. Then you kind of do need to post daily on like YouTube in order for the algorithm to recommend you more often. And he does.
I guess that's my problem.
Yeah, and that's my problem too. The last video I posted was like 3 or 4 months ago too. Now my videos are longer, so if I'm monetized, I'm not. That can help me because like the longer my videos are, the better that YouTube will recommend them. Because like YouTube wants people to like every other social media app and like every other app, they want you to stay on the thing for as long as possible, which is why the algorithm on Twitter and like Facebook are such as it is. But Devolve Jake also is like a Epic's partner as well, so a supported creator, which actually has very low requirements. And actually, it's just 1,000 followers on any kind of platform, except for TikTok. TikTok is easy to get a lot of followers, but like I could apply for an Epic partner because I have 1,000 followers on Twitter. I'm sure they don't. And about Epic Games is that they don't care if you're critical of the game is or well. Oh, so long as you promote the game or just talk about the game or talk about Epic Games enough, then you will get the support creator. No, Involve Jake, yes, it's creator code Involve Jake. So when you buy something from the Epic Games and Epic Games Launcher or from the Fortnite item shop, and you can add a support creator code of like Involve Jake, and Evolve Jake will get a percentage of that like action as well, like $1 somewhere. Yes, Raid Shadow Legends. Yes, but like Evolve Jake gets 2 to 3 times more money from his support creator thing than from YouTube. So that's the thing. So it's in like a hierarchy of like how well he gets like money is where Twitch is at the bottom for him. I don't know how he gets like out of TikTok. I think he also does well on TikTok, but he also his YouTube shorts that he posts like on YouTube is also the same things he posts on TikTok. But yeah, so it's like it's a support the creator from Epic Games, which actually is pretty good at third-party creators because it's a low requirement, and they don't care if you're critical of it. However, it's like you have to reach such a threshold before you get payout. Any Twitch streamer can knows about that and payout too. And the transactions only stays in there be counted for like a full year. So if it's been like more than a year since that the transaction was in it'll fall off. The whole thing won't fall off, but that one transaction will. So you have to like make a certain. You have to have a lot of people to use your creator code for a full year before you can actually reach like payout this work. So sometimes if you did make reach the goal of like 1,000 viewers and apply, it may not be worth it for you because maybe not enough people will like actually use your code to like get you money. I definitely know I want to take it, be able to take advantage of it.
My channel is just something I just do for fun. I don't put money off of it.
No, you have to monetize. This is capitalism. Hustle and grind. God. If you're not killing yourself, then you're just dying pointlessly.
Or then maybe I'm just too stoned. I don't know.
No, it's okay. But that's the thing. I kind of just realized even before, or I just like kind of realized with playing poker, it's a grind. So if I wanted to like just like have that to be my job and just like only make money from poker, that is a grind. Especially since like if you play tournament poker like I used to, you lose 90% of the time, and you have losing days anyway. So it's a grind. If I was playing Magic Gathering, serious Magic Gathering players, so talk about the like Magic Gathering grind. Almost all parts of life is a grind because of capitalism. And like, because working a job is a grind, because like, if saving money, in this economy, yeah, if you used to be able to save money, it's like $10 or $15 each paycheck is where, and now people are lucky to be able to do that as they're living paycheck to paycheck, so it's grinding that way too, which is definitely.
Do you think it's my fault that I don't have a lot of money?
No. Oh,
it's capitalism. Late stage capitalism, neoliberal imperialism.
Yes.
It's not your fault. It's my parents' fault.
Liberalism wants it to have it you be your fault as well. I gotta go back to like that one Patreon hangout with Steve Shives because like a couple of times it has come up and like to like Serious Mind and like Lauren, the Serious Mind, the Gen X small business owner. So very much a capitalist as well. And hello, Lucidia. Hello, Ben.
Is it bad to be a small business owner?
It's to me it is, but not. But he also wants to grow his small business into an enterprise, and thus be a definite bourgeois capitalist, as it were, in that regard. If you want to,
Small
if you want to
business
have
owner is going to be less evil than a large business owner, but that's mostly a matter of volume.
yeah, exactly. But like they always, Warren and Sears Mind has always pushed back against like me, and even like Nick Anderson, who's not like that much of a leftist. He's definitely anti-capitalist for sure. But like I've seen him said like he's just not sure about like socialism or anarchy or communism. But that's because he just is like has not studied it that much, and I don't blame him for not studying it. He's busy just doing his own thing and trying to survive in this world as well. Is struggling artist and like creating a comic playing rebel.com. But like, where was I going with this? Damn it. Okay, yeah, no. So responsibility. They Serious Minded and Lauren always push back against like how we say it's the system as the world, the media, how it's affects the algorithm. They kind of don't like that kind of talk because they do personally feel that is personal responsibility. Or in fact, Isaiah, like months ago when you talked about like Squid Games on the C-Stars Patreon show, and I'm just going, it's like, well, yeah, Squid Games is going to have merchandise as were. Yes, it's a show that you can say it definitely does criticize capitalism as it were, but it's produced under capitalism, so there's going to be merchandise for Squid Games as it were, and it was like, and so there's always going to be that sort of thing. Lauren yelled. He was angry, and he yelled all about personal responsibility, and I'm just like, I didn't took offense because I was just flabbergasted by what was happening, and someone else was talking.
You need
so
to
the
minimize your
conversation
carbon footprint, geek.
I do minimize my carbon footprint quite well.
Yeah.
Use carbon neutral Molotovs. Sorry, freedom potions.
Yes, we do call them freedom potions. Yeah, small business owner means a lot of things.
Exactly
Having
right,
employees instead of partners means exploiting them. Period. Yes, exactly.
It is possible to set up co-ops even here in the U.S., but it still requires that $30,000 of investment to start the business, which is makes it impossible for most people.
And yeah, so yeah, Serious Minded it blocked me on Facebook because like he always did never like me, honestly. It never liked my politics, I swear. So that. So yeah, back when like the Cheeto in Chief was like the president, C-Shives, he only like posts like political stuff when there's a Republican in the White House, honestly. Or it's just that bad. But like I just like said, and like in comment in C-Shives posts, it's just like remember capitalism decay is fascism, and here we go. Capitalism is decay around us, and we had the fascist president of like the last president as our president as well.
I would like to point out real quick before you continue. Sure. Elon Musk actually did accomplish something, a historic first. He became the first person ever to lose $200 billion.
Oh, really?
By tanking Tesla and Twitter stock, he has lost $200 billion in value.
Wow, that's actually the biggest loss in stock value in record?
Apparently.
Wow.
To be fair, I look at the world and I'm just saying, wait, I was told throughout school that I have to be as rich as this guy, so I have to go to school and all this stuff.
No, you have to be born rich.
And then I realized that these billionaires are massive egotistical fuck ups. Okay.
Yes. Honestly, it's the lie that we've all been indoctrinated with under the system. It's because the system is perpetuating itself. They want to look over some comments first. Like in the hierarchy, the conditions in like which those at the bottom live, making personal responsibilities absorb absolutely nothing. We can do the best we can with like what they give us, and ultimately it's the oppressors. Saul Alexandra said like I'm over appealing to small business owners, and how about we start like appealing to large business employees? Yes, exactly. Saul Alexandra, I agree. That's our responsibility. Okay, it's ultimately the see, so lascivity is like common what's like split between like two things because of the character limits. Possible makes we do the best we can with what gives us, and ultimately it is the oppressors that's our responsibility. Yes, I agree. Living in a hotel, relying on like their Wi-Fi at the moment, paying a lot, and get the second like a chest infection in a month. I'm doing great. We love you, Mithril. Thank you for like being wonderful.
Mhm.
It's like yeah, that sucks. And so yeah, no, no. We all were taught and believe that like if you work hard enough, one day you too can become a CEO. Even the CEO of Chase Morgan Bank said this to Katie Porter in a congressional hearing, where Katie Porter was grilling him for the low pay of like a entry level bank teller, as it were, and how like a bank teller living off of the introductory wage at a branch in like Chase Morgan cannot make rent, as it were. Or she probably puts it to you, just run this all on a whiteboard as well, like doing the math. It's like, so she is like negative $200 each month. So how can you you are a CEO of a major bank. How can you like work the numbers to like make up for this like a $200 shortfall, as it were? And he said, I don't know. But he did at some point, he said, if you work hard enough, someday you can be CEO too. But what they don't say,
I don't want to be.
what,
Is that that's a lie?
what that, yes. Here's the thing was that they just don't fully explain, and maybe the capitalist like economic books do kind of explain at some point later on the chapters were, but like not everyone can be. It's like you can be, maybe you can be, but it's like that's not
Capitalism is just
everyone.
eugenics with extra steps.
Yes, yes. And yes, the city of the meritocracy is a lie. The work ethic is a lie. There's no pride in work. They want to exploit us. Oh God. And
Maybe I've lost the eugenics battle with capitalism then.
well, they want you to lose the Genesis battle with capitalism for sure. Yes. But like and like as indigenous heretic often has said, it's like yeah, I'm still here. I'm not gonna like lay down and die just because like the white settlers want me to. The indigenous people kind of proved that time and time again, which is why there's like indigenous resistance movements as well. The water protectors resisting the Standing Rock or any like pipelines like the Indus like Line 3 pipeline too, which well, as far as I know is still going through, despite like people still kind of resist that as well. The whole land back movement and like decolonizing as well. The Zapatistas in like Mexico, that's kind of like a one example of decolonizing because like that's a group of people that just refuse and to kowtow to the Mexican government as well. Their history is quite interesting, and they make good coffee. Even Alex Jones has to admit they make good coffee. They're communists, but they make good coffee.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't want to be rich. If I don't think I'm gonna live paycheck to paycheck. I just don't want to be rich.
yeah, me, as
I mean, if it happens, it happens, and I guess I'll come to that. But I'm not gonna kill myself to just be. I can't do that.
and
Like I have a good work ethic, but
yeah,
I'm not. You know.
it's weird that like I hate my job in many ways, and I kind of like the last couple of work days was just like horrible. I ranted about it social media last week, and then like yesterday on my stream too, because like I normally would like have like 2 days or coming in the weekend to finish up an end of month inventory, or I pretty much do count everything, or try to find like the most discrepancies that's like hand, but many times I don't. I was hoping to like you could be able to come in on the weekend to this weekend to like do the end month inventory or in year end inventory where we have to have 100% accuracy. I was told no, I can't, so I had to like finish all of my year end inventory within the last 4 hours of my shift on Friday, and I didn't. And so I have to like come in on Tuesday as early as I can when the outside auditor is going to come to do the audit for like in year inventory, and I have to like finish up the just counting again. I haven't even finished the counting part of like my year end inventory. So like even if I'm and I wish I could like have the time like coming on the weekend to rearrange things so that like that I don't have like parts in three different places because that was a problem before. It was embarrassing according to my manager. But like apparently my supervisor says, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about." I got that writing in email, so there's a paper trail at least. I'm following my suggestion of my older sibling, just like write the emails of my concerns, and so there's at least a paper trail. So I have that. But I know I'm looking forward to Tuesday when it's just like I'm not even sure I will wake up early enough to be able to come in to like finish the like counting again, just counting of the year in inventory. But yet
Zaya,
they
how
also
is your roommate situation going?
pretty
Uh,
sure talk us about that.
it's I can't say it's gotten worse because it kind of hasn't gotten worse, but it's still not good. They
Hmm.
don't even talk to me anymore, so I guess they know that I'm kind of like, you know, they haven't washed the dishes haven't been washed in months.
Yeah.
Well, I also stopped washing the dishes because they never they don't help with chores. So why do I need to kill myself and waste my
Mm, yeah.
um there it's just dirty. There's like trash on the floor. It's a I don't use the common area anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But I'm working on actually finding another apartment to live in, so I'm working
That's
on
good.
that. I
Uh,
I'm just
the
struggle with coming up with funds to get it.
Yeah, that's always the thing because like the apartments always ask for a deposit and so you have to have that as well as like as well as like at least 3 months worth of like pay stubs to prove that like you can afford 2.5 times the amount of rent that they ask for, or else they won't give you apartments of that amount, which is always interesting. And so for those of you who don't know in the audience, yeah, Isaiah's roommates are like meth addicts. So that's is causing at least a lot of concerns for Isaiah because yeah, he doesn't want to be around that stuff. Just health wise, he doesn't want to be around that stuff.
I wish see so I do a lot of art and I do a lot of projects. I wish I had a wide open I wish I had a bigger place with
Mhm.
closets.
Yeah, yeah.
Because actually I yes, people tell me I should sell my models. I can, but I just don't have enough space to for some because like I want to do more YouTube videos with that,
Mhm.
but I want a bigger space to do that with
Uh,
better lighting, so
which is why which prompted the question you asked me a while ago, which we discussed like a couple times before on the show of like, what's my opinion of people with big houses? Listen, for you, if Isaiah, if it's like a standard like 4 person or 2 story or like standard houses were, and it's just you or just you and one other person, but like most of the other rooms are taken up by your models and your work, or you have offices where I will say this, I don't mind that. And then also in this society, we have 6 times as many people as homes as we have homeless people. So there's plenty of houses to go around, honestly, in this country. For like, even if we house every single person in the country, is where there'll still be like extra houses. So you using
Hmm.
a whole house to yourself for your models or anything like that, that's fine with me, honestly. Because like,
yeah.
now it's again an example of like Star Trek Next Generation with like the Card's family having that mansion and then Vineyard again. Them owning land, and I have an issue with because I believe the land should be returned to the commons. But like they have their home mansion. I don't know what the housing situation is like in like Star Trek.
I'm sure that's a co-op for them.
It,
I don't see like I think he owns it, but I think maybe they're just people who just love like I think they solved that problem by just saying maybe there's just people who just love Picard's wine so much that they'll just work for him for free. And remember too, it's a society where every like you're not really working to survive, so
true.
Yeah,
people are just probably
it's
just
people just
working
doing
like
stuff they're passionate about. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah basically.
Yes, yeah. Many liberals, it's hard for them to imagine that just like do things that you want to do, and like,
Then
uh,
like even if the like working for a living like if that was to go away, people just wouldn't sit around and do nothing. I don't because eventually that would get boring and I don't know.
the pandemic proved that in the first month or two in 2020 when the people were in like lockdowns and had to be if we had lockdowns. Some places did have lockdowns, some countries did have lockdowns.
Okay.
This country just had like some states in this country just had stay-at-home orders while other states just like didn't care, and it was up to like many people to decide to just like effectively stay at home if they could, and then just like do their own
No, you
thing too.
couldn't.
But even for the But even the people that I couldn't either. I couldn't like say at home. My work actually requires me to be at the site as well. And I guess like thankfully my company was essential because it was part of the production line, the supply chain line for medical industry, the medical industry as well as the aerospace industry, as well as the defense industry. So we were deemed essential, and thankfully with my job I was deemed essential because I was the only person in stockroom. So
Well,
yeah,
at my company, we still got paid, even though there wasn't a lot of like work to do. We still got paid.
that's good actually because that's what
So,
I want.
so my employer is not that bad.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why I've stayed with them this long. I mean, I want to do other stuff than custodial work eventually, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I get exactly. The city, the bourgeoisie won't do anything against this company. Hey, John Jumpy, that's okay. You're late. Maybe should have just like I forgot to like add everyone in the Discord server that we have. I should also create a going live channel so I can specifically post like that like thing as well. But like hey, you at least made it as word this time. What was the other? What's the other thing? Oh yeah. Okay, so Isaiah, you did ask me a question like in DMs the last week. I didn't answer you because I honestly thought that was kind of like a weird question, interesting question, or I don't know how to answer
It's
it.
because he
Because
doesn't
you
like you.
asked that's not true. But you asked me, do I think socialism, communism is antisocial or capitalism? I'm curious of why you asked that, honestly.
Because well, I came across an article, or at least I came across like on Google. I came across an article that actually wanted to argue that communism or socialism was antisocial. But see, I don't agree with that because under capitalism, you are told that, or at least according to like a rapper, the rapper Ice Cube that I heard one time, where he said that if you don't have a lot of money, people don't want to talk to you, or people don't want to be around you. So would you say that actually capitalism is antisocial if you are of a person who doesn't have a lot of money, which is a lot of people. And he's
Capitalism
not
is
the only.
absolutely antisocial. It
Hmm.
remember the 8-hour workday giving people leisure time is something that capitalism fought against. Capitalism
Hmm.
wants you to work until you pass out.
Hmm.
Capitalism created the whole myth of the nuclear family and people being siloed into these individual units.
Hmm.
Capitalism
Urbanization.
alienates people in so many ways. Capitalism is awful and vicious and cruel. Capitalism, neoliberalism was Margaret Thatcher saying there's no such thing as community. Okay,
Yeah, there's no such
capitalism
thing as
is the
society, it's
antisocial
only
thing.
individuals. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. It's definitely so so you came so Google showed you a article by someone who is like on a parody like something about like capitalism demonizing socialism and communism, but it could, unless there are actual leftists as well, what they think is socialism, what they think is communism, again, like John Brockman's dad. Yeah, John Brockman's dad, all of communism is Stalinism. That's it. And like that's ignoring the vast like literature or the vast like different ideologies of communism. Where I'm a communist, but I'm narco-syndicalist, and so I'm not a Stalinist. I'm not tanky.
I
And
just
yet,
I saw it somewhere. It just said it was antisocial, but I don't agree with that
right.
because I think there's a lot of things in capitalism that are antisocial. I'm sorry.
No, no,
Well,
exactly.
capitalism is exploitative and anti-human.
Yes.
It's
Well,
necessarily
well, well,
antisocial.
see, and this actually goes into the Andrew back to the Andrew Tate situation. It's the idea that you are told if you are a man that if you don't have a lot of money, you can't get a girlfriend, which means you can't get sex, and then you can't get all this other materialistic shit. And see, a lot of people because they want to be like people like Andrew Tate, they'll look for advice on some of these like awful like platforms. That's why I said it was antisocial because it
Yes.
perpetuates this idea that
Hmm.
you're not this, you're not that, you must suck. And of course, it's always presented from someone who doesn't even know that person or what that person is going through.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
think they were saying that socialism was antisocial because there's this idea that socialism is this this boring, bland I guess, society of people that, they all wear their mouse suits or something. You know what I mean?
It's the
they
stereotype
think
of
it's like
1984. It's not based on actual
yes,
socialism.
Right. Yeah. Right.
yes. Again, with like George Orwell in 1984, he was critical not of like the communists, but a Stalinist because of like what he'd seen, how Joseph Stalin did not support or back the Spanish anarchists and like Catalonia,
Mhm.
and so
Well, I mean,
that's what.
George Orwell was a fuckboy in a lot of ways. We shouldn't put him
Yes,
up on a
Steve was.
pedestal. He was a homophobe. He
Yeah, I agree.
was opposed to poetry,
Mhm.
and in the end,
Mhm.
he turned people over to the state for being communist. He was not a communist.
Yes,
um, but yes,
yes.
capitalism is antisocial because it prevents social movements from organizing to fight against capitalism. When people come together, they
Yeah.
realize how much things suck and they put an end to capitalism. It's antisocial
Mhm.
by definition, necessarily.
Uh, I love how Lucidia puts it. Capitalism is like being in an abusive relationship, full of gaslighting and exploitation of your emotions and material value. It will associate you from your peers, and support and eat you alive. I think she meant to say disassociate, or it will oscillate. Yeah,
Isolate,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
But from now on, I'm going to
autocorrect.
turn associate into a word. I don't know what it's going to mean, but I'm going to make it a word.
Because like Karl Marx has talked about the alienation of capitalism. Capitalism causes alienation from
Well, that
ourselves.
was a
Alienation.
different context. He was saying
Okay.
that workers are being alienated from the product of their labor because instead of
True.
being involved in the entire process and being intimately related with the product, they are instead just a part of the process and they're not actually responsible for the whole thing. And therefore,
It's just a cog in the machine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no more of that. The pride. It's kind of a luddite argument that I'm not a huge fan of there.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing I also like like when my friend Linda Quinn mentioned it on like their stream like last week or something like that. I think it was the last stream. That like automation would be great under socialism and communism because it
Mhm.
would free us from like so much things that like we wouldn't necessarily need to do, and we have more time to ourselves to make models, make YouTube videos, stream
Yep,
to
yep.
our friends,
Under
like get
capitalism,
drunk.
automation means you lose your job, you go hungry and homeless. Under
It's
socialism,
which is
automation means you have more free time to learn to play the guitar or masturbate.
yes, yes, because
And
like
yes, you should
the
practice masturbation. It is a skill. It needs to be practiced. 10,000 hours.
the only to those that don't want to is war. If you don't want to masturbate, that's fine. I was
Well,
like,
you
there are
don't
some
have to
people
learn to play
that
the
suck
guitar
for
either,
balls.
okay?
But like, you can learn to play poker too, and like do it while being like totally drunk and like New Year's Eve. Not mentioning anyone by name. But the Luddites, I want to mention this because like we use the term of a Luddite to be synonymous with someone who's not good with technology. Even David Harvey and David Graeber like called themselves Luddites because they're not good with technology, and that's fine. But the Luddites themselves, yes, they did destroy the looms. They did perform sabotage. And remember, the origins of the word sabotage because like the French workers were making big wooden shoes called sabots, but they were underpaid and overworked for what they were doing. Oh, classic story. So in order to like retaliate against that, they threw their sabots into machinery to cause the machinery to like not function, to like force the company to like come to the demands for like their equal pay. So that's the word sabotage.
That's
And
what,
so the
that's
and so the Luddites did sabotage the looms machines that they were against, but it was not because like they were against technology and feel it's going to be degradation of man. No, they were
They were
against
against
that.
starving to death.
Yes, those who were taking away their jobs. And so
Demand work. If they
they
won't give you work, demand bread. If they won't give you bread, revolution.
yeah.
So like that's not the
Uh,
exact quote, but
that's yeah. The Rosa Luxemburg like said something to that effect, I think. Mhm. Yeah.
ask for work.
So
If they won't give you work, ask for bread. If they won't give you work or bread, then take bread.
that might have been Emma Goldman too. Both
That was
both
Emma
women I
Goldman.
think are Emma Goldman. Emma Goldman's awesome. Just learn about Emma Goldman, read her stuff as it were, anarchist and other essays, or like just learn about her life because she's awesome as hell. Like Tristan Johnson, mentioned in his video on Emma Goldman. The police were after Emma Goldman for like so many times. The dangerous woman because a woman that wants revolution, and an anarchist too. So like yeah, so one time, the police had her in the interrogation room and said like, "Hey, listen, you're going to go to jail for your entire life, but you can avoid that if you can just like give us the names of like that we need of these people, these people, these people." As were. To which she said, "I'll think about it. Can I have a glass of water?" Sure. So then,
Oh, did my internet die? Okay,
and threw it in the cop's face.
my internet went unstable.
She threw it. She took the. I'll repeat that. She took the cup of water. She asked for the officer and threw it in the cop's face. She gave no fucks whatsoever. Yeah, so yeah, it's like I don't know what that person thought like socialism and communism is. Probably the classic like stereotype of it. Well, it's like because like socialism again socialism is like workers owning controlling the means of their production. I see that as just like more social because you just have to work together as like everyone owns and controls the means of production too. Again, like an example at a
Again, I
Starbucks.
also think capitalism is also very victim blames a lot of people. So
Oh,
absolutely,
yes.
that's all it does. Because if you were to blame the actual people, you'd be blaming the capitalists, and they can't have that.
Yes, exactly. I mean, again, it's like even my dad kind of like said like in one ways I'm just a cog machine, and or because like
All
if
in
that
all, he's
cog
just
is
another brick in the wall.
well, yeah, but because if that cog is missing, then like work will stop and some of that. So I'm important and I need to be there, and I kind of believe that in some way too. But then I can it's like yeah, we're all cogs in machine. If we get rusted and like break, we're thrown away and replaced by another cog that is easily replaceable. So I take that analogy and see it's like that's not encouragement. Yeah. Anything a bourgeoisie gives you is an effort to serves its oppression over us. Don't trust it and accept it. Which is why I in ways I am kind of for a universal basic income or unconditional basic income, but I still have my issues with a universal basic income and unconditional basic income because we are basically being reliant on the state to like for our means as it were. Whereas like I do believe that like in the future we just have to have a society that like where we're not reliant on capital or the state to help each other as well. And I've like thought about this too. It's like is a question to myself as like how well I'm doing with the charity links and the charity thing as it were. I have ultimately just like decided it's like no, it's a good thing what I'm doing, like, giving money to like Phoenix, giving money to like Joanna, giving money to all those people because like then they are helped out at the time at that moment and because like sometimes it is immediate that like there's food now. I minimized the like video player but now I can't see it right now. I don't know why. Zoom just updated and it's just updated the weird and I don't know why. So I don't know, someone else can like say something as I like get the links for Joanna and Phoenix.
There's a coup d'etat going on in Peru right now.
Oh yes, I heard some like the news about that.
Yeah, the United States has absolutely nothing to do with it. Wink.
Yes. Again, we were saying this like last year. It was because like that was the Peru's elections. It was like one of those like elections. Wow, it went to a leftist at the time, just like in Chile, just like in Brazil recently. Actually, at least Brazil's less fascist now because like
I believe
Lula
Brazil
as like
had to have a runoff election.
yeah, I think that
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's where it is.
and I think Bolsonaro is actually in Florida.
I don't know why, but like,
Yeah, he fled before Lula took power.
yeah, there was crimes against humanity being charges being like put forth against like Bolsonaro. Not that I mean very understandable because of like all the things that was happening.
My guess is he
and like
also emptied the treasury or some shit because that's what they do.
Yep, yep, that's a classic thing. Um, okay. It's-
Let's see. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro left his country for the U.S. on Friday, 48 hours before his rival was set to take office. Lost a battle, but not the war. Repeatedly said he would not hand over the presidential sash and may also face legal risks from remaining in Brazil as his presidential immunity expires.
So yeah, cease denying the like results of elections. That's like many fascists like do. So where especially when they lose, if the results of election is fine if they win, but if they lose, they just deny it. Is where some even something like the Republicans that that were backed by Trump who were kind of like doing this in the midterms, but they no most of them just kind of really backed off and accept the results when like they did lose this time. So thankfully, like too much like questions and doubts of like the election so were too. But yeah, then and all the Republicans, like even Charlie Kirk and like other soldiers, one thing, how did we lose? How did we lose? How did we lose? Charlie Kirk, you told your audience members don't vote or don't you vote by mail, or it's just like so, or like you were telling about that voter fraud, voter fraud, voter fraud. So of course they're not going to vote if they believe that their votes are not going to be counted, or it's going to be like voter fraud is not going to matter.
That they caught the Moscow, Idaho killer.
I don't know about that. There was what's happening in Idaho?
You didn't hear about the story of the four college girls that got killed?
No, no, I don't. I haven't been paying attention to much of the news.
We're not as, into white girl news as you are.
No, it's like four.
Oh, Koberger. Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay.
I vaguely heard about that. I hear the media is gaslighting and saying it's because he was bullied, when in fact they just called him a creep because he was a fucking creep.
I used to think I was a creep, but then again, there were times when I was in high school where I was a little creepy to some women that I know that was unexcusable. That like I know full well that was inappropriate. There was a few that I didn't know these people, but I gave them flowers. And then so they didn't like it, so I threw the flowers away, got over myself. But my brother always made fun of me for not finding a girlfriend.
Um, oh well.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what he did.
hmm I mean, there's always dating apps, I guess. You can always try that. The new.
Yeah. Well, I also think the fact that I thought the fact that I liked Star Trek made me a creep one time
Why's that?
because it's something that I guess a lot of people weren't into. I don't know.
Oh, not everyone's into Star Trek. There are people who are into Star Trek.
Especially when it came to women, I thought there like is there were there women that like Star Trek? That's why I used to thought that wasn't true. But
There are women that are into Star Trek now. Just say gender, for example.
okay,
Mhm.
no. I'm just this is what I thought back then. I don't think this now.
Okay, I see. And honestly, some people did still kind of think that like women are not into Star Trek, women are not into Star Wars, women are not into like video games. Part of the reason why there was like backlash against like the presence of women and feminists in video games and feminist critique of video games as well, because like for some men they still kind of still view video games as like a boys thing as it were. So this is where that story comes out
Holy.
too in many different ways.
Oh my
What?
god, I just found the worst meme ever. The new year started on a
Okay.
bad note.
Okay.
History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. Hashtag free top G. Hashtag Happy New Year. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Welcome 2023. Andrew Tate is the new Martin Luther King.
Oh,
I'm not going to share this meme, partly because it uses the word that I'm about to not use. Quote, incel is the new schmurschmer.
the new what?
The new N-word.
N-word. Fought for the civil rights of oppressed people. Was hated by elites for his strong ideals.
Because men have been so oppressed in society, haven't
Helped
we,
lift oppressed
guys?
people out of poverty, and I can't read the last one. Was persecuted and falsely accused of horrible crimes by authorities.
These are these Andrew Tate supporters.
Yeah, tater tots.
hate tater tots.
Don't besmirch the words of tater tots. Tater tots are delicious.
Tater haters.
Uh, yes, I don't know. It's like so. Yeah, it's but Isaiah, according to Sargon of Akkad, that cunt, cis white men are the most oppressed minorities in like all society.
Wow.
He does seriously believe that.
I don't believe. No, I don't believe it. I think that's stupid.
That's saying that's what he believes. Sargon of Akkad.
Well, I actually met a conservative, like my adopted mother thought that too, and she said there is no oppressed group more than white men. It's like, are you fucking shitting me?
Mm,
You no. Are you shitting me? That's my question.
it's
Are they shitting me? Not you. Are they shitting me?
no, that some of them actually do honestly believe that.
Mhm.
Again, because white people don't get any affirmative action. It's some people. It's like some for some white people, the only time that they get recognized of like their race of like whiteness is because they don't want to think about their whiteness. They don't want to think about the race. They as like a Edanskin in his like studios video as where whiteness in America is like they don't even see themselves as a flavor of vanilla. They see themselves as feudal latte, milk and sugar. They see themselves as the base, that they're the default, the topo rasa. They are the everyman, and that like everyone starts with them, and then anything else that deviates from them, kind of like the Activision Blizzard's diversity tool, as we're started with the cis white able-bodied like American man, and then go from there. And like if you're 1 or 2 points away from that, then that character's more diverse, as it were, and black more diverse than being white, and disabled more diverse being able, so on and so forth, being trans and being like cis, being from a different country than America or a different country
Anything
than like
other
white
than
people.
cishet white dude is a debasement, a degradation, a denigration,
Yes.
if you will, which literally
Yes.
means to make black.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
care. Fuck it.
And hey, Raven Bucks, yes, we are back. And hey, EMC, yeah, we didn't do a show last week because last week was fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did nothing on Christmas. I just don't care. And again, I'll just like say briefly, I don't care if that's New Year's. So what that we turn over the calendar? So what? It's like we change things over.
The
Or
revolution around its star. That's
it,
all right.
I'm just saying that I'm annoyed because of New Year's celebration because like when I was playing Fortnite today, for some reason, inexplicably, I don't know if it's like because like my region changed so often because I set the servers to pick the servers to auto for whatever's the best connection is. So like last night, no, it was 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. But my character started dancing. And it's just like that was like the third time that happened in my session, as it were, or it had happened all of yesterday. I was like, "What is happening?" It's like I guess for every hour, or I don't know, I haven't been like unlucky and always been on the server where it's like about to be New Year's. Every hour there was like fireworks going off. It's like that's okay. That distraction is where, but my character started dancing. It's like I can't control my character now. My character's dancing. What? That have been boogie bombed? Did that like bring back boogie bombs into the game? I thought I hated those things. But like the character was dancing to the boogie, and it's just like, what is going on? All the characters were doing that, so I was like, even my opponent, I just have to keep my crosshair on my opponent to like hope to like ready for like my the dancing to stop. But I think that was causing my game to slow down too. I was dropping frames. I have an input lag. I had lag issue. I've been having lag issue with Fortnite as word too. But I think that recently the ones I had last night was all because like
No,
a
you're a
stupid
communist.
fucking
You were having gulag issues. Heyo.
But no, I think no. I don't know if like my lag issue was normal lag issues, no really buggy Fortnite sort of thing too, or it's because like Fortnite decided to do a stupid fucking New Year celebration in the middle of a match. It affected everyone, so it's not like I was at a disadvantage. But I can see how so many people were just like that person was in my eyes, but because I start dancing and he starts dancing, he moved away from me, and Fortnite cucked me and like prevented me from getting a kill. just like grief me. That's what Fortnite players say. Grief me. They don't say a cuck, actually, thankfully. But it's like Fortnite grief me on my kill. It's just like, oh god, why the fuck do we have to like celebrate the New Year's Eve like that? And also this also to like people who have sensory issue don't like fireworks, and people are setting off fireworks like that because
And
like
dogs and cats
Funny
are more
enough,
important than people. Just saying.
as someone who does have autism, I never really mind fireworks.
everyone's autism is different too.
If they kept on going all fucking night, I would be pissed.
Right.
But fortunately, they end around 12:30. So.
yes. Yes, it was just like it's again.
Speaking of a dramatic explosion, Tom Brady. You have no idea what this guy has done. It is the worst. His teenage son was sitting in his lap, and he gave him a kiss. He showed affection for his son. What a fucking monster.
Ben Shapiro apparently.
White people Twitter is blowing up over Tom Brady.
That
his
Ben
son.
So that's why he was trending because he kissed his son.
If you look about 20 seconds from now at the stream, you'll be able to see white people Twitter. Tom Brady once again causes drama by kissing teenage son.
it's if it's on the cheeks and it's like his son, it's like I don't have a problem.
They were sitting on a deck chair by the pool. Son was sitting in his lap. Tom Brady is facing backlash for posting pictures of himself poolside with kissing his teenage son who was sitting in his lap.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this.
Nope. But this is the goddamn patriarchal bullshit that we live with.
Yes, you can't be affectionate with your son.
My dad would always kiss me on the lip before he sent me away, and this guy served 30 years in the army, so that's a bunch of bullshit.
Okay. Listen, cis white men, if you're so afraid of showing affections in public like that, because like Tom Brady's like, no, kudos to Tom Brady. I don't. He can do what he wants and stuff like that. I don't think he did anything wrong. But okay, here's a secret way to say I love you to like people. This is the
Give
like
them a firm, steady
American...
handshake. Look them in the eye, and then say, "I'm proud of you." That's how a man.
Well, this is the American Sign Language for "I love you." Is this what? This is it's all like if rock stars like
sign
that.
language for rock on.
Yeah, exactly. This is the devil horns, which I think like I think Running James Dio like started this phenomenon, but he got this from his grandmother. It was like also a way to say "I love you" in like Italian or something like that. So I don't know how true that is as word. That's what Running James Dio said. Not surprising because like the aesthetics for like metal for some time was like pioneered by Judas Priest. Rob Halford was you can say Judas Priest was the like best example of glam metal at the time, or glam metal that we have, especially from the 80s. But like Rob Halford, who came out in 1999, being gay, he said like he got all the leather gear for like Judas Priest from S&M's shop, as it were. So like the look of metal was from an S&M shop, as it were.
So they really were dressing like perverts and women. God, the conservatives are right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the degradation of like black people's music, which gets to like metal and rock when it came from like black people for sure, absolutely. Because Elvis and the Beatles were just like, oh my god, there was such a huge political media backlash against them, backlash against them, just because that was a slip up.
Sounds like something L'Oreal would make for eyelashes.
I can see that, honestly. Not sure if they will go with that name, Blacklash, but who knows? But then again, even the like makeup industry does like have this like criticism of like making makeup for just like a white people and not for like a people of color, because like that is an issue that they have. Again, more or less, it's kind of like you gotta get more. And if you truly want to be like very good and diverse in a lot of ways, have people at the table and have people in the meetings, have people in the process that are from diverse backgrounds, or from different walks of life, different cultures, different like skin colors and different experiences, different like genders and different sexualities. Like you have those people from different experiences be in the room to create the media, create the content that's work. Or if they're not there, and it's like a team of white men as were in that like writers' room for the show and stuff like that, be sure to actually listen to the marginalized people, and especially when they give complaints, it gives like a context or insight or complaints and stuff like that. It now sometimes you can do the best you can, but you still get shit on for like trying to be like tokenizing people. The terrible cup the Ubisoft is terrible for other reasons though, but like they actually did have like a trans person like to consult with to create a character. I forget which Tom Clancy game it was, like Rainbow Six Siege or something like that. I forget which Tom Clancy was, but like there was actually a trans character in one of the Tom Clancy games, but like the people not knowing the context and like thought that like that was Ubisoft tokenizing the trans characters were when like they actually did the right thing in having a trans person be a consultant on to like create the character. Yes, and yes, exactly. Be in the room and and feel safe to speak as well, Joe. Yeah, and for like this is white people as well or the marginalized people, be willing to listen. You got to be willing to listen too. It's like as Jordy just Hector said before in the past show of the talking stick. You got to listen to the person who have the talking stick, and be willing to pass off the talking stick too, like to whoever like either wants it or whoever has been like has not been given the talking stick enough. So yeah. What else has been happening recently?
Not much. Holidays.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm still a month behind on my, well, 2 months behind on my podcast. So, Joe Biden
Yeah, 2 months
pardoned
behind.
marijuana offenses.
Finally. Oh, that's right. I did
He
hear
didn't
about that.
reschedule it into a lower grade offense. So, but he did that. You know, before the midterms, he did a thing. It's a good thing. Could have done more.
Yeah, so it was Rainbow Six. It does have like a trans gay nobody operators. That's what I thought too. Yeah, and yeah, I can imagine like the cis white people are just like being sulky about that too. All the bro gamers as well. Uh, but yeah, some trans people were incorrectly like shitting on like Ubisoft for like believing that they were tokenizing trans people as well. But like no, they actually kind of did the right thing from what I understand. Um. And yeah, so like I heard about that. There's a lot of other things I want to like research more before I cover it because like there's because yeah, Joe Biden was like, okay, great that you pardoned all federal offenses of like marijuana use. He can only do federal. He can't do like
Yeah.
state and local because like he's the executive branch and like the other crimes are at the state and local levels as well. But like, why haven't you reschedule it? Just like you could have done it before the midterms and that would have been popular. It's just like even amongst many Republicans who are
Mm-hmm.
Republicans because of their like libertarianism as it were, their brand of libertarianism as it were,
Well, it
they would they.
probably would have fired up the white supremacist neo-Nazi base.
That's a good
So
point.
I think there are more Klansmen and neo-Nazis than there are libertarians in the Republican Party. So
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, but I do know that like Joe Biden is very pro cop too, and he knows
Mhm.
that his base of supporters cops would not like him like rescheduling marijuana for sure.
Mhm.
Um, he's done like no more good things than I thought he would be, but far less than he like could have
Yeah,
should.
Biden
Yeah,
hasn't
exactly.
been nearly as Uncle Frank as I expected. Or, Uncle Frank is just, your racist drunk uncle at Thanksgiving.
I was about to say,
He
who
has
the hell
not been
is?
nearly as Uncle Frank as I thought he was going to be. In fact,
He
I
is,
think he's been better than Obama on a lot of things.
yeah, now,
Because Obama
still,
started off trying to compromise. Biden said, "You know what? No, they're never going to compromise with me." And he's just done thing. He did like he laid a lot of groundwork for a lot of stuff, very quietly. Like when he forgave only $10,000 worth of student loans.
yeah,
The Dems had laid the groundwork in taxes like 6 months before he did that.
I
Because
see.
when you get a forgiveness like that, that can be construed as a gift, and you have to pay taxes on that. So they
Oh,
went through and they went into the federal tax code and they changed that. And the reason they did that is because
okay,
a lot of states just model their taxes on the federal tax code.
yes,
So that meant
okay,
that
yeah,
people
that's
wouldn't get
good.
dinged. And then the Republicans had to go through and change their tax codes in order to punish people so that they would have to pay like
Yeah,
$600 in tax on that. quote unquote gift.
Mm.
So the Republicans had to deliberately go out of their way to be the bad guys on that one. And so, I mean, the Dems they're not really playing hardball, but they are doing, like, credit where it's due. They're doing a little better than, well, they're doing anything, which is better than I thought they would have done.
Yeah, but now with the results of the midterms, they managed to get one more seat in the Senate, surprisingly, and but they lost the House, which is not expected. Yeah, it's not as there wasn't a red wave though, but like still lost the House. So here's what I'm predicting from like
you expect to lose big in a midterm, and they didn't.
True. Yeah. Well, also like this is like almost more of like it's not so much a standard midterm because like the standard midterm would be the current party in power would lose like one or two or both houses of like the Congress, as it were, and they lost one, which was expected, but they didn't lose the other, which was kind of surprising. But like that's always happens whenever every midterms, as we're after
at least in
like
recent
the first
memory.
year.
I don't know how long.
Yes,
how
at
far
least
back
in
that
recent
goes.
Yeah, exactly. That was true since like 2010 from like my memory of how it go far back it go. Maybe it was true before that too. So now the Republicans control the House again. Here's what I'm predicting. Same kind of bullshit that they did with Hillary Clinton with Benghazi. They had 8 different
They're going to
congressional
identify. They're probably going to start picking on Kamala.
Yeah, they probably will do that.
I don't really expect Biden to run again in 2024. He's really old.
True.
He might, but I think that they are going to start stepping up and having both the Dems and Republicans are going to start centering Kamala Harris as the front runner, the one who's going to take the White House in 2024. She's going to take the lead on a lot of policy initiatives, and I think the Republicans are going to start Benghaziing her. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah, or they would just if they are going after Biden, it'll be Hunter Biden his laptop for whatever reason.
Daily Wire recently released a shitty documentary. I think they're also going to do an inverse January 6th sort of thing, looking into the stolen election.
Yeah, I imagine so. The January 6th committee. So I don't know if they're still going strong. They were doing a lot of things up until like the midterms, and I wonder if that committee will still be like there. Come to like a new Congress and gets into session in like 3 weeks from now. But who knows? But like commenting on like some things in chat as well. Yeah, Joe McClure had like similar feelings about Biden. He had adopt, but far less than what he could or should do. Yeah,
more than we thought, but less than he could. Yeah.
Yeah, if something has the word rainbow in it, I'm expected to be gay. Talking about referring to Rainbow Six.
The Bible has rainbows in it.
Yes. Mitchell says, I had the rainbow flag on all my operators during Pride Month. It was depressing how often I got like PK'd at the beginning of the games in the months. Yeah. And Lucy, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, thank you for dropping in, saying hi, and it's a word. And resigning, that's like a kick in, is a word. Yeah, I understand that you be fine. Look after yourselves, word. So yeah.
Did you guys hear that one of the popes died?
Yep.
Yep. Papa Palpatine finally kicked it. One down, one to go. You know.
Or it's called Benedict XVI. That's the
14th.
16.
It's 16th.
VI. Okay. Yeah, 16.
Yeah, not IV. Not I. I need an IV. Or Pope XVI.
No, it's 16. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's the I before that means the one that thing is the I after, then it's like it's one more that thing too. It's only for some grandfather clocks for some reason has 4 eyes for 4 on the grandfather clock. I don't understand why.
The Romans went both ways. The Romans were not consistent about
that. Well, they also went both ways in that regard too.
We should all know our Roman numerals since we all like Star Trek, and after Star Trek 1, it becomes,
There's also people who like watch the Super Bowl or fan of Rocky movies.
Well, the other, so like one of the Super Bowls a couple years ago was LIV. That's like 54. Yeah. So I was like, oh, so like Super Bowl live as in live time. His daughter. And the girl from Armageddon too.
Yes, yeah, she was the
Mhm.
girl from Armageddon. Oh my God, Armageddon.
That
Jeffrey
was
Bruckheimer,
that
Michael
was a good,
Bay.
fun movie. It was full of talent and heart, and it was the highlight of 1998.
I don't think Steve Shosh would agree with that assumption.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, back when I
When did
listened
it
to
come
Star
out?
Talk Radio,
Oh, it was
and I
98. I
don't.
got it right.
You got it right. You got it right. And so back when I listened to Star Talk Radio, which I don't anymore because I don't like Neil deGrasse Tyson as much anymore. But there was like a guy who like is a physicist. He's actual professional physicist, and he criticizes movies for their inaccuracies as well. Here's the thing: so many inaccuracies in Armageddon is hard to list them all. But here's one thing about these inaccuracies: at the beginning, it says that like the meteor like struck down and destroyed all the dinosaurs with like 1,000 tons of like force is worth. Oh, they said only 1,000. They said 1,000. No. That's far less than you need. This is like no, you need billions of tons or millions of tons. This is like you over exaggerate everything else, but that you under exaggerate when you could have over exaggerated and be accurate. Wow, you didn't even study this shit, did you?
The Chicxulub impact likely impacted with the force more than all the nuclear weapons at the height of the Cold War. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was a freaking mountain.
Yeah. Yes, it's like imagine a whole freaking mountain just like landing on like the planet so were. I mean, Mount St. Helens was a volcano, and it was just like one half of the mountain just like blew up and just like disappeared or something like that, and it caused like that explosion as well, and as well as like a lot of like pyroclastic flows and mud flows.
People don't realize how powerful those impacts are. I mean, you're talking about something travel that's like billions of tons traveling through space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all that energy has to then like stop on our planet. That's a lot of energy being transferred.
Yeah, exactly.
That is many times the nuclear arsenal
Yeah.
by multitudes.
I mean, our realize that like our planet, the Earth, is traveling at like quite a bit like speed as well. It's in velocity, not acceleration, which is why we don't feel G forces, as it were.
Well, we are accelerating because we're being
Yes.
pulled in toward the sun. It's just that we're in free fall. That's why we don't feel it.
Yes, exactly. So like it's so people a lot of people don't know science is the word. So there's like a lot of speed going on in there too. And imagine so someone traveling through space in that like kind of like a trajectory is like would be quite a bit of like a speed as well. So which is also why it was like difficult for us to break like our Earth's atmosphere, if I'm remembering correctly. People, please study science. The science is kind of actually quite awesome. Also, one quick point from this world: that the rest of the world has just like had the football World Cup and Super American sports trying to do a colonization, going, no, our game is football, your game is soccer. Wow. Who won the World Cup? Who won FIFA? Was Argentina? I
Not the
forgot.
poor. So fuck it.
And I wanted,
Well, true, not the board.
and I wanted to actually buy an Argentina flag, even though I'm not Argentinian.
I actually do have a friend that's Argentinian too, and he's often hates it how like we call ourselves Americans too, which is like no, he sees himself as American too, South American. We're not the only ones that have that name America. We're not the only ones on the continent, on the 3 continents at this increments. And no problem for the rant, Mithril. I understand I understand your frustrations there because like again, Beckon has this into me and points it out. That is a ball and that is a foot. And then, like, that is a hand, and that is an egg. So I call American football hand egg. That
And it's actually called soccer because originally they played in their socks.
makes
That's
sense.
not true. I'm lying.
See, a white man can convincingly lie and, like, and be able to, like, the lie can
And the
spread
bigger the
halfway
lie,
around
the
world.
more people will believe it. All right, it is after 3:30, so it is time for us to go our separate ways.
Okay, so remember to check out, like, Azayato's Incendiary Intelligence YouTube channel and the Autism Modeling Society. Links down below. Yeah, charity links on page for like a many different people have like various links to like their GoFundMe's and Venmos and like Cash Apps and all this stuff. If you have extra money, please find someone that like you can give to and like can help them out as well. Um, if you want to give it to a specific person, I recommend Phoenix, who's always in the chat with us as well. They're always good to use money. Joanna could always use money. Nasdaq could always use money. They're raising money for clothes right now. And then for me, I'm Summer Geek on YouTube. Even though I haven't posted a YouTube video in 4 months, on like
Oh, you better get started. Don't you want to live in a big mansion like the other YouTubers?
now like Steve Shives, because like he's a YouTuber, but not one of those rich ones. And he has a house, so I guess there's that something. But I think
And
he
he
already got
inherited that house. That's inherited wealth right there.
I don't see. Well, see, that's the thing about people like Sniper. Well, she has a big. It's like, do you really need this? I mean, I guess you do. I don't.
It's like it's if I don't know, once we finally in a full communism where everyone has a home and has a home that they want, because that's another thing. If they want just like 2-bedroom apartment as a work, that's fine with them with me. And if they want a mansion, so long as everyone gets like what they need, and that's one thing.
I don't want to live in this apartment anymore. It sucks.
And you want like to live in a house to like have your room for all your models, and that's fine too. But
So I can start my own little selling shit on Etsy.
yes, exactly. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm Summer Geek on YouTube, on Twitter, on co-host. So there's cohost.org. Check me out on cohost.org. It's kind of like Tumblr instead of like a Twitter, but like all the like developers of like owners of co-host are all trans and non-binary of some kind or that kind of variance. And so like I will accept the bugs and glitches in like a co-host as long as they're definitely not going to allow Nazis on that platform. So check out co-host. But like I'm Summer Geek and all those places, and on Twitch I'm gonna be streaming later today after I get something like food to eat or somewhere like that. And John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
How's people like Tavi and Julie? How's all them doing?
Julie I think is doing okay because I saw her well I haven't like talked to her directly or asked
She
her
recently
how she's
posted
been,
a really
but,
awesome picture of herself.
yes, she recently posted a real awesome picture of herself. Tabby, I'm in constant contact with Tabby. I didn't like send her the link to like today because I figured that she would be tired because yesterday she was at a furry convention and had a lot of fun doing that too. I'm yeah, she posted that she mentioned that on her co-host. So Tavern the Wolf is on co-host, so go check her out there. So that's why I felt it was okay for them to mention that publicly as well. So Tavi is doing fine as well as can be. But and love the earplugs that she got because it allowed her to enjoy the first convention with all the sensory issues that's out. But also the convention was so good about like providing spaces for people just to relax, to unwind and decompose and degress as well. But anyway, John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Indeed, I am. Dungeons and Debacles, a D&D podcast. Very different from this. Heck of a lot of fun. We recently recorded a Christmas episode, which will probably be up sometime around June or July. All right.
Alrighty then.
And with that, I am going to go eat my breakfast. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye, Sasha.
Bye, everyone.
I don't know what time it is where John is, but it's almost 4 here on the East Coast.
Well, I'm on the East Coast, too. I had a sandwich. So I guess this is second breakfast.